Your cat has the entire bed available. The pillows, the center, the warm spot you just got up from. And yet, night after night, they end up at your feet, curled around your ankles, pressed into the arch of your foot, sometimes positioned so perfectly between your heels. You wake up afraid to move. Most people assume the answer is simple. Warmth. Cats like heat. Your feet are warm. Mystery solved. Others insist it's some kind of dominance behavior. The cat choosing a lower position while still controlling the space. And strangely enough, both explanations contain tiny pieces of the truth. But neither explains what's actually happening. Because your cat isn't choosing that spot randomly. At a neurological and instinctive level, they're performing a quiet calculation every single night. One involving safety, positioning, awareness, and social connection. And once you understand it, that little sleeping spot at your feet starts to look very different. Number 1. The warmth explanation isn't the full story. At first glance, the answer feels obvious. Your feet produce heat. Cats love warmth. Case closed. Except, research suggests something much more strategic is happening. In 2019, researchers at the University of Lincoln School of Life Sciences studied how domestic cats chose sleeping positions under different temperature conditions. And what they found surprised them. When cats were given multiple equally warm sleeping options, most didn't simply choose the warmest place. Instead, 73% consistently selected positions that combined warmth with a clear view of entrances and movement paths. That changes everything, because the foot of the bed does both perfectly. Yes, your feet provide heat, but they also anchor the far edge of the sleeping space. From there, your cat can monitor the room, the doorway, the windows, any movement approaching the bed. Now picture the scene from your cat's perspective. The room is dark, quiet, you're asleep, and your cat settles near your feet. Not hidden, not deeply buried in blankets, but positioned where awareness stays possible. That's not accidental comfort. That's optimized placement. Research led by Dr. Sarah Ellis found something even more interesting. Cats sleeping at their owner's feet showed significantly fewer startled wake responses during the night, compared to cats sleeping near the head or center of the bed. In other words, they rested more calmly there. Why? Because their environment felt easier to monitor. Their instincts stayed satisfied. They could relax, without fully giving up awareness. And this is the part most owners never realize. Your cat's brain is always balancing two competing needs: comfort and vigilance. Warmth matters, but safety and visibility matter too. So when your cat chooses your feet, they're not just choosing heat. They're choosing a position that allows them to stay connected to you, while still quietly monitoring the environment around both of you. Once you understand that, that tiny curled-up shape near your ankles stops feeling random. Because it's not laziness. It's strategy. A sleeping position shaped by thousands of years of instinct, happening silently at the end of your bed every single night. But warmth and positioning are only part of the story. Because there's another reason your cat keeps returning to your feet specifically, and it has much more to do with trust than most people ever realize. From your cat's perspective, the foot of the bed is a thermal resource that doesn't compromise vigilance. A 2021 follow-up study at Utah University using motion capture technology revealed that cats sleeping at their owner's feet maintained what researchers termed spring-loaded postures, muscle tension patterns that allowed them to achieve full alertness. 3 seconds faster than cats in other sleeping positions. Your cat isn't just staying warm. They're maintaining tactical readiness while accessing your body heat. A dual optimization that reflects their evolutionary programming as both predator and prey animal. Number 2, the social distance sweet spot. Here's where the research gets more complex. In 2017, behaviorist Dr. Christison Vitali at Oregon State University conducted a study examining spatial preferences in cat-human co-sleeping arrangements across 189 household cats. The finding that startled even experienced cat researchers was this: cats that chose foot sleeping positions scored highest on measures of secure attachment to their owners, contradicting the assumption that close physical proximity indicates stronger bonding. The cats that slept on their owner's chest or face actually showed more anxious attachment patterns in separation tests. The feet represent what Vital termed proximal independence, close enough for social bonding and security, but far enough to maintain autonomy. When researchers measured cortisol levels in cats sleeping at different bed positions, foot sleepers showed the lowest stress markers, 34% lower than pillow sleepers and 41% lower than cats that slept pressed against their owner's torso. The neurological explanation involves the cat's social buffering system. Physical contact with a bonded human triggers oxytocin release, the same hormone involved in human parent-child bonding. But cats are solitary hunters with a lower threshold for what ethologists call contact saturation. Too much physical closeness, even with a trusted companion, activates mild stress responses. The feet provide oxytocin benefits. The warmth and presence of the bonded human without the sensory overload of breath, heartbeat, and restrictive proximity. Your cat has essentially found the mathematical sweet spot between connection and independence. Number 3. The protection paradox. Most owners assume they're protecting their cat by allowing them in the bed. The research suggests your cat believes they're protecting you. A 2020 study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science examined nighttime positioning in multi-cat and single-cat households, tracking 412 cats over 6 months using infrared cameras. Researchers found that in 68% of households, cats position themselves at the foot of the bed in what animal behaviorist Dr. Dennis Turner described as sentinel positioning, the same spatial arrangement wild felids use when group sleeping. The cat at the periphery serves as an early warning system. What makes this remarkable is that your cat, despite being fed and sheltered, is enacting a protective behavior pattern inherited from ancestors that lived in coalition groups. When researchers introduced novel sounds during sleep periods, cats at the foot of the bed woke an average of 4.7 seconds before the human and 3.2 seconds before cats sleeping in other positions. Muscle tension readings suggested these cats were performing what Turner called threat scanning, brief micro-wakings every 23 to 47 minutes where the cat would lift their head, scan the environment, and return to sleep. Your feet, from this perspective, are not the object of your cat's attention. They're the anchor point from which your cat monitors the room. There's a second layer to this. Cats have scent glands in their cheeks, paws, and flanks. And a 2018 study at the University of Bristol found that cats sleeping at human feet engaged in more scent marking behaviors, kneading and rubbing, than cats in other positions. The researchers hypothesized that cats were marking the most vulnerable part of their sleeping human, the feet being farthest from the defensive capabilities of hands and teeth as a territorial signal to potential intruders. Your cat is essentially posting a chemical occupied sign on you while simultaneously keeping watch. Number 4, the micro-movement tolerance factor. There's a practical consideration most owners don't consciously recognize, but that cats have clearly calculated. You move in your sleep, sometimes dramatically. A 2016 sleep study at Canisius College using actorrhaphy monitors found that humans shift position an average of 11 to 13 times per night, with the torso and arms moving through the largest ranges of motion. Cats sleeping on or near the chest reported through owner surveys being accidentally displaced an average of 2.4 times per night. Cats at the feet reported displacement rates of 0.3 times per night. The feet move, but they move in predictable, constrained ways. Your cat has learned the movement vocabulary of your feet, the small adjusts, the occasional stretch, and can accommodate them without forced relocation. Researchers at Lincoln tested this by having owners wear ankle weights that restricted foot movement during sleep. Cats showed no change in foot sleeping preference, suggesting they weren't seeking stillness, but rather predictable motion within a manageable range. This connects to something deeper about feline cognition. Cats are exceptional pattern recognition animals, and a 2019 study in animal cognition demonstrated that cats can learn and predict human movement sequences after as few as 3 repetitions. Your cat has mapped your sleep movements over dozens or hundreds of nights. The feet represent the zone where your unpredictability, the danger of being crushed, displaced, or startled by a shifting arm, is minimized. They've conducted a risk assessment, and the feet pass. Number 5. What happens when the pattern changes? Pay attention to disruptions in foot sleeping behavior because they often signal something significant. Veterinary behaviorist Dr. L. Christensen notes that cats are creatures of rigid routine, and changes in sleeping position can indicate medical issues, environmental stress, or shifts in the human-cat bond. A 2021 study tracking 267 cats over 18 months found that cats who suddenly abandoned established sleeping positions showed elevated inflammatory markers in 43% of cases, often preceding diagnosable conditions like arthritis or dental disease by several weeks. If your foot-sleeping cat migrates to your pillow, they may be seeking closer proximity because they feel unwell and need more intensive social buffering if they abandon the bed entirely. Researchers found correlations with household changes, new pets, construction noise, or disruptions in the owner's sleep schedule that made the cat's protective positioning feel untenable. The specificity matters. A cat moving from feet to mid-bed often indicates they're cold. The ambient temperature has dropped enough that your core body heat becomes more valuable than positional advantage. A cat moving from feet to a completely separate sleeping location often indicates stress or illness that makes them seek isolation, a deeply ingrained feeled response to vulnerability. The research here is clear. Your cat's sleeping position is not arbitrary. It's a daily referendum on their physical state, their sense of safety, and the stability of their environment. Number 6. What your cat's choice actually means. When your cat settles at your feet tonight, here's what's actually happening. They're performing a complex optimization across multiple variables. Thermal regulation without compromising visual surveillance, social bonding without sensory overload, protective positioning that allows threat monitoring, and risk management that accommodates your movement patterns. The choice is neither random nor purely instinctual. It's learned, adapted, and refined across hundreds of nights of data collection about your specific sleep behavior, your bedroom's threat profile, and their own comfort thresholds. The science suggests this is one of the most sophisticated expressions of cat-human bonding, a position that requires trust. They're vulnerable while sleeping, but not dependence. They maintain autonomy and escape routes. If you've been interpreting your cat's foot sleeping as rejection or aloofness compared to cats that sleep on their owner's chest, the research contradicts that entirely. The cats most securely attached, most confident in their relationship with their human are the ones who can maintain proximal independence. They don't need to be on top of you to feel safe. They just need to be in range, monitoring, optimizing, and yes, keeping your feet warm as a pleasant side benefit of their tactical positioning. The next time you wake up and feel that warm weight against your ankles, understand that your cat has chosen that spot through a calculation that balances evolution, neurology, learned behavior, and individual preference in ways that most owners never consciously recognize, but that the research has now made visible. If this changed how you see your cat's behavior, subscribe for more science-backed explanations of what your cat is actually doing and why. Drop a comment about where your cat sleeps, because the variation in these patterns and what they reveal about individual cats and their relationships is something researchers are still actively mapping.